Game on, everybody! Division 7 delivers once again the Bacon Landlords against Friend. And, well, if you know my hate for Brightwing, then you probably know who I'm cheering for right now. I'm actually a little bit in a pickle because there is a player that is actually called Brightwing on the side of Bacon Landlord, so I'm a little bit torn here. Brightwing playing Blaze though, so no Fruit Fly in this game. Arawok on ETC for the Landlords. Hinata-kun, Naruto fan, I approve. On Malfurion, Bacon Sock on Lunara, and Exodia on Orphea. And over on the right side, Adamek on Nubarak. We have another noob on Raxa, Casey on Gul'dan, Makimi on Tyrande, and Fuxaz on Reyna. So ready to rock and roll. As usual with this Division 7, my little disclaimer, Division 7 is the lowest league in the amateur scene on HeroesLounge.gg. If you have never played in the amateur scene, you should definitely check it out. Believe me, completely different experience from the shit show that you get in Storm League and Quick Match. If you want to see like-minded players that actually want to win, that's the place to go. That said, this is normally, on average, in Division 7, you will see play between gold and bronze. So that's normally what we're looking at here. The teams are obviously trying to win and they're a bit more coordinated than what you see in those leagues, but that still has to be put out there. And also as a caveat, if I make fun of the players, oh well, there's no if about it, when I make fun about the players are on board with all of this. So you can see this a bit as a learning opportunity, since we're going to talk a lot about the mistakes, but we're also going to make it a little bit of fun about individual mistakes and plays here. And the players are all on board on that. Gotta throw that out every time that we're going into one of these, because there's always someone that starts to get offended on behalf of players that are absolutely okay with it, even encourage it, and send me replays and match links in the hopes that those games get casted next. So, yeah, if you're one of these people that looks at this and like, oh, that's mean, then the only thing that I can tell you from the bottom of my heart is get the fuck out of here. And for everybody else who's up for a little bit of fun and wants to enjoy this series, welcome to the stream and enjoy the games. So, with this said, we're having currently our first map. This is a best of 3, and we're looking at, I was about to say Battlefield of Eternity, which isn't quite true. This is Tomb of the Spider Queen. Fun fact for everybody who's a little bit newer to this, Tomb of the Spider Queen is actually located underneath Sky Temple, which is why we're having a little bit of an Easter egg with Harrison Jones located on Sky Temple that lets himself down on a rope into the Tomb of the Spider Queen. So, with that said, let's have a little bit of a test at the builds here and check that out. Oh, that's going to be a kill, and that is a kill! Gul'dan is down. Get wrecked, son. So, the traditional setup with offlaners for both of the teams, double damage and a single support, so pretty traditional for them. The interesting part about all of this is that we actually, in this case, have Rexa again in play. And he's a hero that has, in this year, 2019, made, I want to say, a bit of a comeback, because previously he was just absolute trash. But Rexa actually quite powerful now, oftentimes played great with good control. A little bit weird that nobody is picking up on the fact that Blaze is missing. So normally this is a big fight over the Siege Giant camp at the bottom of the map. As soon as you see someone missing, you know that the chances are pretty good that they are finding themselves on the camp at the bottom of the map. So that another noob doesn't even pick up on that in the slightest, especially since he has Rexa and doesn't even send Misha down here, doesn't really bode well for the macro awareness and the minimap awareness of our Rexa player here. So a little bit of a problem, but well, not too much of an issue, but obviously that gives a slight advantage over to the team in blue. Team Friend is now trying to get a kill here as they're diving in hard with the camp that they took, and they nearly get the kills against Orphea and against ETC. But they're not quite there just yet. And, well, with that said, we're having also, in terms of builds, 15 stacks already on the Regeneration Master, 3 minutes and 30 in. Pretty good. Decent job by Nubarak. Gotta acknowledge that. Nature's Culling taken on level 4 for Lunara. And I mean, Lunara is supposed to get a fair amount of damage out. It's not really a hero that you see all that much, since she's still a bit more on the squishy side, but her poke can obviously be fantastic, and she is pretty strong if you can keep her alive and dance on opponents. Not saying that there aren't any better heroes out there, but if you're looking at Division 7, there's obviously a lot around comfort picks, so we have to at least acknowledge that. In this case, Brightwing already running out of mana on his Blaze. That's gonna haunt me the entire game, I'm gonna tell you that. But yeah, When it comes to Reyna, he went into ace in the hole on level 1. No bed of barbs for Anubarak, so there is a limited amount of slows and stuns. Well, we have quite a few. So it's not a full-on focus on trying to get him proc the talent. I'm a little bit weirded out by the sustaining rounds on level 4. It's a pretty bad talent to take, to be honest with you. You kind of want to go into fight or flight on that level, or at least the behemoth armor if you're already not looking at that. But the more interesting part is that we actually, in this case, have Animal Husbandry for Rexa, so you don't see that talent anymore all that often. It was something that popped up a lot when Rexa emerged in the scene again and got picked, but then everybody started to really figure out how to lock Rexa down and how to really coordinate efforts against him. And then you didn't see that talent picked anymore because Hunter-Gatherer is actually really good. Yeah, and another noob is already dying. So much for the Animal Husbandry and so much for the gems that he just had. So there is the Red Web Beavers descending. While we saw Rexa taken down, there was at least a coordinated effort by the remaining players of the red team to get a turn in. But now they have to try and see how much value they can get with that, since obviously we're having Rexa still missing for a bit longer on lane. In terms of talents, also the Splintered Spear, absolute normal for Europe. Definitely the build to go for. The Echo Paddle even put into play. And with 2 kills against 0, the Landlords are looking good. But they do not have a turn in yet, and they have to face the music in the middle of the map. Already a kill attempt, and a kill against Reyna. Jimmy down, and so are the Web Weavers in the middle. But they still have to deal with the remaining lanes here. Top lane, Anubarak jumps in, a little bit too deep, gets stunned once, pushed out, and they try to punish, and they do punish. I gotta say, the coordination of the team is not bad. Not bad at all. 4 kills against 0. The Landlords are actually killing it here. What is this? Coordination in Division 7? What are you talking about? Ooh, Casey. Ah, could have been taken down there. Now, the one thing that you can really play Aramork for a little bit is that he just uses his face mail too much and pushes targets out of the stuns. So that is definitely true. That was true with Anubarak earlier, who nearly got away. And in this case, also with Gul'dan. Another noob is trying to prove his name correctly and overstays heavily at the bottom of the map. And goes down again. Yeah, if you see that coordinate or that rotation come, then you should probably move back a little bit quicker on a map like this one. But yeah, 5 kills against 0, level 10 early on. At least the fort has been taken down, so a bit of a trade. But now a turn and opportunity for the blue team. And in addition to that, another camp that they can claim as well. I gotta say that the Blaze pick tilts me slightly. I'm already having enough trouble with Combustion when we're casting ARAMs and just funning around a little bit on the Twitch stream. But to actually go for Combustion in a game where we see coordination and communication, I'm like, what? No bunker? Well, let's see how this is going to work out for them, but not happy about that pick. Again, bunker saves life. Combustion is pretty much just a meme that you throw out there. Either way, the team in blue able to move away, but they haven't gotten their turn in yet. It's 10 versus 10 right now. And there it is, Lunara sneaking it in, lulling straight into the middle and saying like, alright, let's get this going. With 19 stacks on Gul'dan, he's obviously trying to capitalize on the stacks, the 5-man, 4-man rotations that we see from the Bacon Landlords. And now the attempt to get some Web Weaver value. Alright, get the Weeb Weavers out there. Top lane push, bottom of the map, that's where Blaze is currently sitting here. Another noob currently sitting around there too, and gets attacked again, but should be fine for now. Animal Husbandry value obviously is heavily reduced thanks to the 2 deaths that he already experienced. And here comes the push at the top lane. Well, there's the first tower down, second about to fall. Mid lane has been defended, bottom of the map still getting attacked there. And Rexa is kinda low, needs to be careful. But at the top lane, the kill attempt against Exodia on Orphea. Malfurion coming out with the Tranquility and getting wept right away. Here comes the stun follow-up, but it doesn't connect. And yep, there's the slide. And it's party time, baby! And the Eternal Feast, max value. And they get 2 kills through that. 7 kills against 0. What is happening here? I remember times when the Landlords were utter garbage. Right now, all of a sudden, they're starting to dominate. What's happening here? Did someone, like, flip a switch and put us into an alternative universe? Or what's going on at this point? I mean, these guys have 7 kills against 0. I've seen coordination. I've seen cooldowns that were actually held back for each other. It was a little bit surprising here. Not quite sure what's going on there. ETC showing his moves in the game and getting a good cooldown through. That gives them now a level lead. 7 kills against 0 gives them also a talent advantage, and still the pressure at the top of the map. Red team, of course, can fight back into this, but damn, kind of impressed. It's like these guys have been learning. Actually improving and trying to get better. But yeah, Aramork with the attempt to turn in. They have enough gems to get another turn in. It's true for both teams, by the way. But that's an easy one for them. Red Web Weavers, nowhere to be found. Instead, it's the blue team that gets the second turn in. And that's 2 in a row for them. The additional attempt to go for another noob at the bottom of the map. He's obviously a primary target for them with 21 stacks that he currently holds. So that's the dream. Trying to go for Misha, taking Misha down, and well, Misha barely gets out there. I mean, I can barely stand the thought that Misha gets obliterated here, as she's trying to paw her way into the battle. Again, the dive deep into the back line, and Misha, it's unbearable. She goes down, and that is Rexa without his companion once again. Unfortunate. After the fort at the bot lane is pretty much isolated. They're now moving even into the middle, trying to see if they can maybe get another one. So far, not the case. Gul'dan is sitting topside and is attempting to at least hold this one. 7 kills against 0, but at least even talents right now. Only a single fort taken out, and this is the attempt to at least make it 2. Bottom of the map is still getting pushed. They're hoping to open up the wall at the keep itself. And there's another jump. Lunara and ETC with a dance party, and they get absolutely shredded. 3 down, and Nubarak trying to escape, nearly taken apart by a Blaze. And that is just insane. Wow. That is insanity. What a kill. 10 kills against 0. What is going on in this game? The Bacon Landlords on the keep 11 minutes and 30 seconds in. And that is just incredible. I mean, seriously. They actually got a great combo off here and take the keep. The fort at the top lane has been destroyed too. And yeah, brutal setup. So with 13 against 13, but 16 around the corner for the Bacon Landlords, they have pretty much enough gems to go for another turn-in. Yeah, but they take a pretty shitty fight there if they want to go for this one. They really want to go for the camp. 5 versus 3 without the bunker. I'm not so sure about this one. Everybody else is still sitting tight. The Malfurion is dead. At least the gems get collected. Aramork is running. There's the internal feast. Can they get the kill against Jimmy? Yes, they can. Exodia goes in for the kill. And they get another one. And Nubarak is down. Oh my god. They are murdering it. Horrible decision in the first place to go for that. They lost the camp too, and they are finally losing a couple of heroes as well, as they should, because as I said, that particular strategy did not really bode well for them. But they evenly traded 16 against 2 kills, and that is at least a little bit of a win. I mean, don't get me wrong, for our team friend, this is still not horrible, because, well, if you kill heroes that are much higher than you on the opponent's side, then you get an underdog bonus experience advantage that helps them to catch up a little bit quicker, but they're still down in talent, so that's a problem. And with this, we're now having the Landlords with not only a 10 kill advantage, but still an extra talent and another weapon wave. 16 is ready! That gives us the unfair advantage in terms of damage. We're having... How has Lunara only 12,000 damage? What? What? Lunara has 12,000 damage? Lul. I mean, the wave clears there, don't get me wrong. It's 120,000. But how on God's green earth do you only get 12,000 damage in this setup with 12 kills against 2 and that advantage? I mean, even if you just gallop the wrong way and bump into a hero, you get more damage than that. She has less than ETC. What's going on there? That is incredible. That is insane. Lunara has less damage than the opponent's team in Uberak. Alright, so that might change soon. But as it stands, I mean, we're going actually for Blaze. And yep, that's why you take bunker. Blaze down. But they might still get a little bit of damage against other heroes. Well, they try to take that keep down, and the problem is that Aramog is now also in trouble. Up to the top lane, the Web Weaver is trying to deal with the keep. The guys, if they can just buy a little bit more time, he's gonna get it too. The talent is called Epicenter, Nubarak. It's called Epicenter. Okay. Feign Death already being used here. Well, Reyna actually going into the Bounty Hunter on level 16. Didn't see that one coming either, but there we go. No Pain Dem Rat here, which gives him the additional sustain that he doesn't need. Nubarak dives in and still not taking his talent. Epicenter would have been great here. They get the kill against Malfurion regardless. But Lunara is able to get away. 4 kills! They nearly start a comeback. They lose the top side though, which means that 2 keeps are down. But they have finally time to get a turn in for themselves. And even the boss. So yeah, keep core, obviously attacked soon. It seems like Nubarak has forgotten that he has a level 16 talent. He's still not taking it. There is 1 talent on this talent here. 1. There's only 1. It's another one of Blizzard's IQ tests, and the only talent here is Epicenter. Even after the nerf, it's only Epicenter. Nothing else. That's a freebie. Alright. Boss is still fighting. Boss is trying to kill Reyna. And there's the first stun. They go for Blaze. What is happening? Why the fuck is Khaldor in the middle of the map? Blaze is down. Lunara jumps in. And Adamek survives. Lunara is nearly dead. And they go for the boss and they take that too. And then Nubarak is dead. Alright, so there we go. And Nubarak, and the kill against Lunara. Guys, it's time for a comeback. 3-man mosh pit and nobody there for the damage. And Ophia is down as Reyna takes her down. Aramog is just sitting there thinking, you gotta be kidding me. I get a 3-man mosh and you got nothing for me. What are you doing? Bottom of the map, catapults on the core, but they're going to be pushed back in a second. And now at the top there's a move. I would not even move back for this. Why do they turn in, by the way? They could get a turn in right now. They should just get the turn in. But for some reason they don't. For some reason Nubarak doesn't take the level 16 talent either, which tilts me more than anything else. Lunara is by now also sitting on 31,000 damage, so apparently she heard the criticism and said like, yeah, you know what, you're right, I should probably attack other stuff than only minions. There are 2 heroes ready with the defense, which means that there's only a 3-man push with the boss here. And they're moving back. They're realizing they're not going to get the keep with this, so they're just going to try and go for the turn. There it is, Epicenter. Beauty. For a second, I was actually worried that he would go into debilitation. It's not a multiple choice answer. Well, it kind of is, but why do they not turn in? You have 104 gems. What are you guys doing? Gul'dan alone can turn in. What is this? Are you trying to collect as many gems as you possibly can? Guys, the meme that you can get an extra amount if you hold 100 gems on the hero, was a joke. That is not real. I made that up. I wasn't serious about it. They get Misha. That's still one of my favorite stories, though. Like, we had a guy that actually tilted in, I think it was like years ago in a quick match and said like we should always turn in, and we got so annoyed with him that we told him there's a secret mount that you can get if you actually hold 100 gems on your hero. The guy shut up from there on and just started to collect gems the entire time, and then begged us at the end of the game to not finish the core yet because he didn't have 100 gems yet on the hero. It was absolutely priceless. One of my best moments ever. And he tilted hard when we told him that we were just lying to him the entire game, so he would just shut the fuck up. It was perfect. So that was a joke, therefore, please turn in. I mean, they could have turned in several times. They could have pushed with boss plus web weavers, and they didn't. And, well, there we go. With this, we're having level 20s now. The guy has come back. 14 kills against 9. 2 keeps down, but the chance! The chance to move through their middle here. Lunara with the intensifying toxin. We have Bolt of the Storm taken. And it's time to shine, baby! There's already our Haunt, and on top of that we have in the Execute. Attack them all in the middle, on the back. Gul'dan needs to be with the team a little bit more. I can understand the impulse to really push out these lanes, but you're not going to get any value again keeps there either. And they don't go for the fight. I mean, you have to take it eventually. Blaze gets attacked. That's actually the old Outer Malfurion already, so that's a good one too. And Nubarak, once he's going to dive in, he's going to get the stun set up for them. Gul'dan on 47,000 damage. Misha is already down. That's an opportunity right there. And they go for Malfurion and they drop him. Gul'dan is trying to go in. They already kicked Malfurion's ass and they're not stopping there. They're going for Blaze and take him down too. And behind all of this, it's always Jimmy. Just taking them down one after another. 3 deaths. That's the opportunity to go through the middle. That's the opportunity to rotate to the bot lane now that I'm seeing those Web Weavers. It doesn't really matter where you go for. You definitely have a chance right now. They are trying to make it happen. That has to be a keep. I mean, at least. You want to get at least a keep out of this. Minions are pushing in, and there we go. What do we have in ults? Not much left, honestly, for them. But they have a setup against Lunara. Where are the stuns? 1, 2, and she's dead as well. Lunara getting killed immediately. That's the keep for sure, and that should be even core. That should be the core, but we are in Division 7. You always have to acknowledge that. I can't believe that they're making a turn in here. This is insane, guys. How many kills did we have? 11 against 0, 7-0. I can't even remember. 2 keeps were down, and all of a sudden we're seeing Frieends straight in for the kill. Yeah, our Fia is down. What a comeback! What an absolute comeback in game number 1. Team Frieends take down the Bacon Landlords in an epic comeback right here and take the lead in the best of 3 series. GG and well played. Game number 2, everybody! Volskaya Foundry, still Division 7, and Team Friend has actually started to take a little bit of a lead here, surprisingly enough. On the left side, Aramork on Johanna in the second game, Brightwing on Blaze, Hinata-kun on Alexstrasza for the Landlords. We have Bacon Soccer on Lunara, and Exodia on Jaina this time. For the red team, though, we are currently looking at Adamek on Arthas, Casey on Gul'dan, Makimi on Tyrande, another noob on Artanis. Yeah, that can't go well. And Foxsaws on Reyna. Now, interestingly enough, I learned earlier that Team Friend is one of the free agent teams. And if you're in any way familiar with HeroesLounge, that you know that free agent teams are always named every single season after a certain pattern. So last season we had superheroes, so there was a free agent team Hulk, for example, free agent team Captain Marvel, stuff like that. And this team, this season is actually basically just TV series. So there's like, well, I guess How I Met Your Mother. They had the fat team, so free agent team Friends, and they renamed themselves into Friend, which you can do if everybody agrees. Now, the reason why I tell this story is because there is actually a team out there that is called Grey's Anatomy, and they're still called Grey's Anatomy. And if you think about this, this means that everybody on that team can't agree that there are better names than being called Grey's Anatomy, which is pretty much a pretty shitty series to begin with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I watched that at the beginning too. I was a bit of a binge. I was a student at one point as well and had a little bit too much free time and saw all about McDreamy. But to be absolutely honest with you, like, that series is just getting wild and it's a little bit out there. So that everybody on that team is okay with that name is just mind-blowing to me. That's something I just needed to just put out there for just a second. With that said, I actually like what we're seeing from the two teams here on the macro level, because they go for their camp at the exact same time, which is pretty sweet. 1 minute in, and that's what I'm preaching over and over again. Go for the items when they're ready, get that advantage. That's a nice lockdown. And Bacon Soccer is down. They want that bacon, and they're getting that bacon. Amateur opponent on level 1 taken for Artanis. And that pick actually is interesting to me. First of all, it seems like today we're having, in this case, another noob subbing in for Team Friend, if I see that correctly, since he's usually part of a different team. But either way, we see that Artanis again, and I've already seen that Artanis in the previous series in Division 7, which I casted recently, and it didn't go well. And I don't really think it's gonna go well here either, because it's Artanis. And you can maybe, in certain outlier scenarios, convince me that the hero is getting you a little bit of tiny titsy value on Battlefield of Eternity, but even there, I will always argue that there are better alternatives. But if you're playing that hero on something like Volskaya Foundry, then there's just too many offlaners that are just so much better than him. So, yeah, I'm really interested to see what's happening with Artanis in this one. But yeah, Artanis is a shit hero. Like, there are, like, at least 10 offlaners that are better than Artanis that you can take that will outshine him in nearly every single aspect of the game. So, yeah. But Atanas gets picked for this map, and we're gonna find out if he has any positive impact for this, or if this is just another YOLO setup. So we'll have a look at this. With that point, we're already having a little bit of a hang around the healing beacon up there. Nobody really going for it, so it's just a turret against a turret when it comes to items, at least. But let's see what they can do with the first objective. Now, level 7 is going to be important here. And they're actually going for it. Healing Beacon is attacked. They're getting for free. Nobody's scouting that out. That's something that the red team should have done for sure. Just having someone hang out there to see if the cap gets attacked. So now they're missing out on one item. In terms of experience, they have a slight lead. The early level 7 usually gives you a slight head start here. But we already have 69% on the progress bar for the team in red. So that at least worked out for them. But we're in the same time now, Alexstrasza, Dragon Queen obviously going to become a factor here. Aramor gets attacked now too. Iron Skin is out, and the first turret gets immediately getting dropped. And they're fighting for it now. The camps are coming back online, which means that items are back up on the map and could be up for the taking if they want to outweigh the Dragon Queen. But they're actually still fighting, and that is Gul'dan down, and Artanis died as well. Both of them eliminated. The attempt to go for the champion, it's actually the blue team that is attempting to steal both of them away. I like that. That's a cool attempt. Sustaining rounds again on level 7. I said it before and I'm saying it again. It's a bad talent to take. You get much more value out of Behemoth armor, even though I'm not a huge fan of it in a normal game. But fight or flight is incredible in a normal game outside of ARAMs. Now with the all random, all mid-brawl style games that we sometimes have on the channel, there's a different meta that exists there. But in a normal game like this one, sustaining rounds is definitely not your best option on Jimmy. So we actually have the Bacon Landlords doing an incredible job on the macro level with the cap control that they have, but they need to make sure that they're keeping Lunara alive. So far they're doing well here. One turret is already on the ground, and they can easily hold that spot now and already pushing the opponent back. There's the first protector, and the kill against Adamek as well. Nicely done by them. 3 kills against 1 after the initial setback as Lunara has fallen, and now the rotation towards the top side. Interestingly enough, they let this turret on the ground. And another noob is just now saying like, wait a second guys, there's something on the map here. So, well, the Bacon Landlords, they take the camp, but they don't take the item. I have no idea why exactly that happened. There's a typical case of like, do you take it? Oh no, you got it for sure. And then everybody walking away from it, so Atanis just grabs it. I was actually wondering in the fight where the additional turret is. I was like, wait a second, something's missing. So the rotation towards the top is always meant to prepare for objective number 2, which spawns topside, and they take the fountain down. So as I said, map decisions so far actually really good from the Landlords. They go immediately at the 1 minute mark for their own turret. They go for the healing beacon later on. And this is a prime example, guys, of how much of an advantage you can get over an opponent if you just know the map a little bit and the timings on the map. It's a perfect example. They open the top up, they get 2 lanes, but they prepare for objective number 2. So just through rotations and item control, they have a massive advantage. With an entire level, additional kills, they got the first protector, they have a better position for objective number 2. So I guess that to a lot of people it might sound always like small nitpicking things, but again, if you are playing in any kind of amateur setup in the competition, keep these map rotations in mind and try and execute them, because they can win you early game advantages that you can then control towards the late game. So with this said, we're having, well, first of all, Combustion used again, and we have a Ring of Frost now too. Blessed Shield, again, throwing that out just to YOLO a little bit is probably not really their best option. It at least secured them the healing beacon, so it's not a complete loss for them. But in an ideal world, you obviously attempt to follow that up with a Ring of Frost or something else, which they could have done here. In this situation, you can throw a couple of heroic abilities because they are more or less guaranteed to be up again when the second objective spawns. The timers work out that way. I guess for Atanis, we're definitely going to see the Suppression Pulse. I would be shocked to see anything else here, since the additional movement speed that Blizzard put in made the laser even worse. Lunara jumping in, trying to get the kill against Adamek. Arthas is a little bit low. Atanis is trying to get some damage in against, oh my god, Johanna and the Ring of Frost with the connect, and that could be a kill. It should be a kill, and it will be a kill against Atanis and against Tyrande. Yep. Atanis down, never even picking his ult. Definitely could have used Suppression Pulse in this fight to maybe help them to survive a little bit longer. But that didn't quite work out. And now with 5 kills against 1, they take a big lead here. And they still steal the items away. And again, it's Volskaya Foundry. Item control, item control, item control. Control the camps, control the items, and always get a superior fight over your opponent. And the fact that Artanis hasn't picked his talent on level 10 yet is just worrying me. Because if we are actually going to see him here with the laser show, then I will doubt his sanity a little bit. After Blizzard increased the movement speed across the board for all heroes by 10%, that particular heroic ability has lost even more value because it's incredibly easy to walk away from it right now. And there it is, the Purifier Beam. Can't believe this has actually been chosen. So, easily able to walk away from them. I mean, you can zone a hero out a little bit, but that talent has lost a lot of value after the global changes. Artanis getting attacked here again. Blessed Shield is out. They don't even need it, I think. And that is an easy kill. I have zero idea why Blaze actually used Combustion here. That was a waste, but there's the kill. So, yeah, with that, now 6 kills against 1, level ahead. Stormfront for Jaina. No Ice Fury wand on a level 7, but still going into the Blizzard talents. Let's see if we're actually going to get the 16 talent as well for her. When it comes to talent quests, we're having on level 1 for Gul'dan 31 stacks right now. Let's me have a little bit of look at what's going on with the damage output. Jaina on 17,000, 22,000 for Artanis. Could farm a little bit of damage against Blaze earlier. But yeah, with that said, still the rotation towards the top. And again, Fountain has been taken out. That means that there's a great spot now for the blue team, since they can make a coordinated effort. They can move back and try to go here. I have no idea why Blaze is bot lane. Blaze has no business bot lane, like none whatsoever. Like he should not be at the bot lane. It's 13 versus 13 now, and well, that allows for 5 versus 4, and that's a kill, that's an ult being used, that's a Ring of Frost being used. Talon did get a kill, they're trying to get something done against Reyna, but all of a sudden they're in trouble. The Landlords threw away game number 1, and apparently they're trying to throw away game number 2 as well. Blaze had no business at the bottom of the map, none whatsoever. You want to go for the objective here. Yep, easily, no real damage, can just move away from that, have all the time in the world. No problem whatsoever, thanks to the movement speed advantage. But they can of course still fight for this one. So they can still try and go in for the objective once that the heroes are back, and they are back now. So Lulinara is on the way. Another noob with an attempt at a swap. That didn't work out, so it seems like another healing beacon is going to end up in the hands of them. They have 2 turrets. They have, well, can someone please take it? They already lost 1 turret because of that. But yeah, they have 3 items now against 1. So a big advantage on that. And we're having them moving straight back into the fight, and a lot of heroics have been used to both sides, so that doesn't give them a lot. There's the Blessed Shield, and the kill against Jimmy. Jimmy down, and Artanis is dead again, doing what he does best. Dying, in case that nobody picked up on that. Arthas actually drops the turret before he dies. Looked for a second like he wouldn't be able to pull that off, but yep, drops that too. So good for him. And with that, 9 kills against 2 now. In terms of damage, Artanis sitting at 27,000 damage and 4 deaths. The only one dying actually on the side of the Bacon Landlords is Lulinara. 20,000 damage for her this time. But yep, here is the attack right there. Starting to move up through the top, taking the fort down. And now, of course, the question of how far they are going to go here. Normally, you see a rotation into the bot lane eventually in an attempt to take the fountain down, but they are busying themselves mid lane. Blaze has taken control over the bottom of the map, and rightfully so, gets the experience right now. Keep in mind that they can afterwards also attempt to go for the additional items by just attacking the camps again. Finally, the cannon completed for Gul'dan, but the fort is down, and with another 40 seconds left on that protector, the Landlords are moving down to the bottom of the map to ensure that they're going to get even more value right here. Jaina, by the way, has gone into the Numbing Blast on level 16, so didn't follow the Stormfront up with the increased, well, attempted damage through the third iteration of the Blizzard. And the fountain is down, so another setup for them. Honestly, the Landlords are looking fantastic in this game. Then again, they looked great in game number 1 too, and we all know how that ended. It didn't take much for for the red team to turn that around. But now every single fort has been eliminated on the side of Friend. And yeah, that's the way that all Brightwings go usually. They die a painful death as the fruit fly is getting swatted by the fly swatter. In the last game, the fruit fly populated the area and was able to turn things around, but this time it looks like the Landlords are going to finally get rid of that infestation. Everybody with an item right now, with the exception of Exodia, but since they are heading for the next one down here, it looks like they're going to get this one too. It's a bit of a rough going for the red team. Then again, if you think about it, they will have a level 16 for the next fight, so obviously there is no fallback option for them since their fort got taken out, but it's still a fight on even talents, and if they make a decisive decision there, get for example a good horrify through, they might be able to pick up a quick kill. Nice Iron Skin again, as Johanna is moving away from this. But I have to always just throw in that this is still really low on the amateur scale. I mean, again, we're looking at bronze to gold. This is the average level of play that you see in Division 7. So something that definitely should be noted here. But you can already tell that there are big advantages to just having people play with you that, first of all, want to win. I personally think that a lot of the people that play Storm League on the lower levels or Quick Match don't have no intentions to win whatsoever. Would at least explain a lot of things in my opinion. And also they are trying to coordinate, and that's what you're seeing right here. Kill achieved as we're having Jaina go down. Didn't use the ice block, maybe on cooldown, but we have the counter kill against Arthur's, and there's the swap attempt as Lunara gets taken apart. Lunara getting dropped a lot, but in this case we're actually having a lot of items getting dropped too. There was the healing beacon, there was 2 of your turrets, and all of a sudden with a level 60 talent, as I said earlier, they have the chance to take the team fight, and they take it and get the quick kill and make a 2-for-1 trade happen. That allows them to gain some map control and grab an item advantage. So the red team is not out of this yet. They are in the lead in the series, and we will actually see how that's going to work around objective number 3, but for the time being, that went fairly well. So, damage output, to have another quick look here, 38,000 for Jaina, 31 for Lunara, definitely a little bit better on the damage output than in the previous game. But if you compare the deaths in the last game and you compare the deaths here, it's pretty much the same setup. Lunara is just extremely weak in terms of hit points. If she gets locked down in any way, she's dead. It's one of the main reasons why you don't really see the hero picked, but I also gotta mention that I don't really agree with leap taken in Game 1 and Game 2. If you have mobile heroes against you, melee assassins that try and go in, it could be a Greymane, could even be a Thrall with Wind Fury Rush, or could also be a Genji, then leap makes a lot more sense. If you have a very strong front line and no real opportunity for your opponent to get close to you, then you should definitely go into the Thornwood Mines and opt for the poke damage. Now, if you're terrified of that Artanis and think he's going to swap you the entire day, that's maybe a bit of a different story. But in this case, I don't really think there was need for that. Play is about to go down. Well, no bunker, no glory, but we have counter kills, and the entire front line gets wrecked, and items haven't even been used yet. We're seeing turret and also the healing beacon on the ground as the players are slowly starting to move in to claim it. Or so I thought, but instead it's the red team who still gets both of them, despite the fact they have only 3 heroes alive. I can't believe they just got both. I mean, they have the turrets here, so that was a bit of a zone out, but still incredible that they were able to pick up both. Now level 20 is nearly ready, and now we're also going to see another item in the hands of the Bacon Landlords, but they should definitely now make the play for the third protector. They have level 20, so they have Storm Talents, they have everything else too. Lunara with the intensifying Toxin again. We're also seeing Cold Snaps, a cooldown reduction is going to be important here. And what else are we going to get? I still can't believe they gave those items up. I mean, they could have fought for that spot for sure. Yes, obviously the 2 turrets make it a little bit harder to grab them, but you have 4 heroes against 3, so you should have all the time in the world to take the turrets down, grab the items, and if anybody just peeks their head in, you can take them down regardless. So that was a bit surprising to me, giving both of them up. But, well, they did, and now they have to fight against the item advantage eventually, but they still have some items themselves, and they also have the level 20 lead, so that should still put them in a really good spot here. It's also still a little bit weird to see Arthas in that main tank position. I mean, I haven't really talked about it, but obviously with them running Arthas Artanis, it means that your Arthas is the main tank, and that's normally not what they're seeing. If Arthas is played, he's traditionally the offlaner, and he has a bit of a problem when it comes to engage in general. So there's a level 20 advantage coming into play. Blaze has pushed out the top lane a little bit before moving down to the bottom of the map now. But since they have all their heroics ready and can now force the fight, they should still be able to win this. They're engaging a little bit early as Blaze isn't there yet, but they're starting to make their play. Blessed Shield is already out, should have probably waited a bit longer there, but they still have the items. There's the Cold Snap getting immediately some value with the damage against Arthurs. Can they get the kill? Adamek is low and is nearly getting wrecked, but there's the kill finally. Once again, the laser with little value as Lunara hops away. They get the kill against Jimmy, and that looks fantastic for the Landlords. Yes, try and go in a little bit deeper. But that's a protector, obviously, for them now. And they can just immediately move down through the bottom of the map and at least grab that keep. And maybe more. Stuns are coming out on both sides now. When it comes to the damage output, we're still looking at an advantage for Jaina with a 49,000. Atanis on 46, top damage dealer, which isn't really a glorifying recommendation for the plays that we've seen from Reyna and from Gul'dan so far. But again, also 5 deaths against Artanis, and the fact that he is just pretty weak as an offlaner and doesn't provide a lot of stuns and other setups make him a bit of a liability here. So with that, we're having the keep about to be taken out at the bot lane, but the protector has been shredded to 20%. And unless they're getting some quick kills, I don't really think they're going to go for the keep after, for the core after all. Making a bit of a play, but it's a 4 versus 5, and we're having Raider coming back now too. So they're going through the shield, or at least trying to, but I really don't think that they can overstay their welcome here. They get a kill, it's a different story. But there we go. Top lane, still value through the camp, by the way. And that catapult is already on the keep itself, so that helps. It's gonna be defended. I mean, eventually we are gonna have Team Friends taking care of that. And now with the Zealot charge. Tannis, by the way, going into a full damage build. So we're talking a lot about his damage, but the entire setup that he's running here is homing in on damage instead of survivability, which obviously makes him also a little bit easier to kill now that he has the triple strike, the Titan killer, and in addition to that, the Zealot charge. Anti-magic shell? Are you kidding me? How the hell can you not defend the keep? It was full HP. Nobody moved to the top lane? So they lose Artanis again. The keep at the top lane is falling, and well, they're losing the fight over here too. Like, I don't really know what happened with the red team, but they just lost a keep for free for no reason whatsoever. They were all busy defending the mid lane, and nobody took the 1 or 2 seconds that they would have needed to take the top catapult out. Now they're losing Gul'dan and Tyrande. That's 4 down, and that's pretty much game right there. Oh, please don't go for the cap. Guys, please. Just go for the core. You have 2 catapults with this. We're 20 minutes in. Just go for the core and take it. Oh, Jesus. There's a camp. We have to take it. So yeah, the damage is there, and they're forcing game number 3. The catapults are already dealing with most of it. They might even get the kill against Jimmy. Nah, he survives, but yeah, that is obviously game here. And Jimmy is there too. GG as the Landlords force the 3rd game in the best of 3 series. Game number 3, everybody! The Landlords against Friends. So, we actually have the series tied, and now we're looking at Battlefield of Eternity, and we have Aramorg on Johanna again, Brightwing on Blaze, Hinata-kun on Oriel, with Bacon Soccer switching it up and dropping Kel'Thas into the mix, and Exodia on Vala. And on the other side, I'm a little bit scared because we have the Artanis and Arthas combo again. Adamek on Arthas, another noob on Artanis. Casey on Phoenix, Makimi on Tyrande, and Fuxos on Li Ming. So it's a bit of an interesting setup, to tell you the truth, because we have a lot of heroes that are fantastic against the Immortal, especially on the side of the red team, as they're running not only Tyrande and also Li Ming, which is just great on this map. Oh, and we don't have an arrow build for Vala. Alright. Definitely expected an arrow build from her, since this is the preferred build on the map. Doesn't mean that you can't get value out of the hybrid multi-shot build, but still, definitely expected arrow here. Atan is obviously now taking 2 with the amateur opponent. And as I previously said in some of the games, Tannis is not really a great hero, and especially on this map, it's easy to believe that he is because of the amateur opponent's extra damage against the Immortal, but the matter still stands that Tannis just loses out incredibly against so many other offlaners that you could play on this map. Thrall, you could play him, Urel, Leoric, there's like a ton that just provide way more in those fights, and it just outclips completely what Tannis brings to the table. Either way, as it stands, we're gonna have a bit of a look at what they can do with that. Now, Khaldor isn't really the traditional hero to be played on the map because there's a little bit more space available for the opponent to dodge out on flame strikes and try and negate the living bomb damage. But he has been played here. I think Mene played him once or twice. Oftentimes we see him a bit as a counter to other heroes where you find a bit more value out of this. But it can definitely, especially on the lower level, also be a stronger option for them, especially if they follow up on that. My eyes are a little bit on Vala, especially since I didn't really expect this particular build to be played. Normally, if you're trying to go for Immortal focus, this is more what we are going to get here. But, yep. With that said, we're having up at the top lane the setup that you would expect. Now, Blaze hasn't really done a whole lot around Bunker, and I don't really think that Combustion is going to be any better in this game than it was in the previous ones. Now, there's obviously always the argument, well, Bunker is only good if your teammates use it, and that's definitely true. But we're looking at still an amateur scene where we expect at least voice comms to be used, and in this setup you should always go for Bunker. So if you want to improve your own play, and you've been playing with Combustion in the past, definitely abandon that talent. And even if the results at the beginning don't really reflect what you expect, then stick with it and try and improve there. Bunker is played in the competitive scene on the higher level exclusively for a reason. So just because your teammates might not always make the perfect decision here, doesn't make the talent so inferior than Blaze's Combustion. But either way, that's another thing for another day. So, good route against Exodia, but already we're having Auriel there. Auriel obviously really benefiting on the fact that, oh my fucking god, we have Creed of the Noob Trap. I was talking about, like, the arrow build here, and instead we're actually getting Creed. Oh my god. Okay, if you ever wonder what the worst talent is on level 4 for Vala, you just found it. Creed of the Hunter is another one of these Blizzard IQ tests that they put in on a few heroes. Debilitation on Anubarak 16 is one, Creed of the Hunter is another. Horrible talent to take outside of brawls and ARAMs. If you love the ding 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 and you really like that, then play Quick Match. But in this is just absolutely atrocious. Horrible talent makes the level 4 pretty much useless up to a later stage in the game. And if you win a normal game with this and the level 4, then you pretty much would have won the same game without taking a talent there at all. So, horrible talent. Again, if you go into... There are a couple of builds where you can still go into Hot Pursuit and you can actually combo it off with some of the arrow talents. This isn't one of the maps, so there is an arrow hybrid build with Hot Pursuit out there that in certain situations can give you some value, but normally if you go Hot Pursuit, you combo it off with Multi-Shot and then you have options on level 13 and 16. But this is an atrocious build to go for, so do yourself a favor and never pick that again. I mean, either way, they got the kill against Phoenix now, but yeah, this is a typical case of where you will only get value against incredibly bad players, and traditionally will never get the talent completed in a reasonable time frame that will allow you to do anything unless you're already winning the game anyways. It's especially a bad talent when you're falling behind. If you're falling behind with an arrow build or a multi-shot build, you can still get poke damage, but if you need to get into auto-attack range before level 20 and Farflight Quiver, then you're always going to suffer from taking this talent. So actually coming back with this talent is nearly impossible unless your opponent gives you a massive opening. So you're pretty much hoping that your opponent is total garbage when you go into this particular talent. Either way, for now we're having them in the lead, so that actually helps Vala, because this is the only setup in which she can actually even get a little bit of value out of the talent if she ever completes it. But they're getting mad value out of that first Immortal, as you can see, as they easily break through the fort at the top lane. And that comes on a single kill that they got so far. With that taken, we have now also the follow-through for Tannis, so another spec into damage from him. We're at least having Vala with Death Dealer, so I've seen... a lot of auto-attack Val. Well, I actually don't see a lot of auto-attack Valas because most of them don't take that talent for a good reason. Again, it's pretty much a IQ test. And at least on level 4 we have Death Dealer, which is the talent. If you want to go for an auto-attack build, this is the one to take. And Vala is already getting pretty much wrecked here and gets taken down. So, with this said, we're having a kill against the kill. The fact still remains that the red team has suffered a big blow to the early game, since they lost the top fort and now have to deal with all of this. Having also an Arthur's not really a level 7 taking it. And again, the traditional talent is Icebound Fortitude. If you want to go for a normal talent on Arthur's on 7 with the build that we're seeing here, Icebound Fortitude is your friend. We've seen in previous games Rune Tap taken, which is pretty much just the acknowledgement that you are really bad at using activatables. Which isn't really meant as a rip here, by the way. Sometimes it's just something where you say, okay, right now I'm just too bad to use activatables. I'll just play without one and will adapt to that later once I feel more comfortable on the hero. So if you're training, this can actually be something that you want to go for. But we have Icebound Fortitude now taken by him. That's exactly what they're going to go for. Now, objective number 2 is now spawning, and also interesting to note that Sun King's Fury has been taken for Khaldor. 17 stacks, also on his level 1, went straight into the Mana Addict, so he's going to grant himself the shield later, but is speccing into a Living Bomb build, which in normal games is not really the best build to go for, but this is still lower league play, so you will get more value out of a Living Bomb build here than you do, for example, at a higher level where people will probably start spreading when they see Living Bombs applied, and it also of course forces my Khaldor's a little bit lower here. Another noob is already jumping in but doesn't get stunned out there. Still the fight starting, and the poke is happening. There's the stuns, and they could go for the kill, but Casey is already too low, and they're getting mad damage in. Another noob falls, Artanis once again down, and the rest of the team is on the run since they're incredibly low as well. And with that said, we're having another Immortal attacked here, and that now means that we're looking at potential level 10 with another push coming through. Now, the red team hasn't really given up on this just yet, so they're still thinking about attacking. I have zero idea why Blaze is doing that. That's a bad move, by the way. If you really want to do this well, what you do is, as a 5-man, you drop the Immortal to half HP, you move over to the camp and attack the camp together as 5, and then you go back into the middle. But Blaze going for the camp all by his lonesome is really bad because it gives the opponent an opening back into the game. And yeah, he's still fighting here. Now it's a 5 versus 4. So they're actually behind in this fight. Doesn't mean that the red team is going to win it, but you give them an opportunity that they should not have. Good setup here from them. With this, we're having now level 10 abilities in on nearly both sides. Combustion comes through again. Vala goes into Strafe. Not a bad talent for her. Again, interrupts are really at a minimum on the other side, and there's not real jump against her. There's a kill attempt against Blaze. He goes down. No bunker, no survival. And they're getting the attack in. Once more, we're having also a Salvo attempting to connect, but only connecting with 2. But some damage as they're moving out from this once more. So 10 versus 10 right now. And the camp at least getting a little bit of value at the bottom of the map. Nobody's moving down to this. But now that 2 heroes or 1 hero is down, they need to send someone over to at least attack the Immortal. They can't just sit there, because eventually the blue team is going to win this. It's a war of attrition at the end of the day. And yeah, if you allow your opponent to poke and you don't put time on them, you're going to have a problem. Artanis is honestly the one that at least should be walk over and try and get this done. But in this case, it's a kill again. Slimming, that's all of a sudden possible. Vala goes down. Artanis gets a bit of value out of this. And now they're starting to head into the fight again. And there we go. So at this point, we're actually seeing mad value also for once out of the thingy, the suppression pulse, and well, Artanis still goes down, and Arthas follows suit shortly after. And with that said, this opens up the Immortal again. He gets stunned. This is all the time in the world. It's just like, you know what, I don't care. So yeah, 20,000 damage on Artanis, 18,000 on Vala. And in the meantime, at the bottom of the map, well, Blaze is just going for camps the entire day. So they have a massive Immortal. Again, what the red team failed to do after they got the kills is to actually try and get the Immortal down a little bit. It's not only about winning the Immortal. Even if you lose it, you just reduce the shield that your opponent has on it. And that's something that is just not happening here. So they're starting to push in. We're 10 minutes into the game, and I want to highlight again that Vala currently doesn't really have the reward. So all that she gets from this is a 10% attack speed increase, which is not worth it. I want to point that out again. Any other talent would have given more value here. And we're already 10 minutes in and we're not even seeing her at 50 stacks. So far, that talent was absolutely not worth it. If you would have gone for any other level 4 and level 7 combination, Vala would have gotten a lot more value out of it. And the game is already at keep level. So again, it's a horrible, horrible talent to take. Any talent where your entire explanation of why the talent is good starts with, but if I get level 20, or if I get into a 20-minute game, I can maybe get some value out of it, then it's a bad talent. So right now, we're actually having them push even for the core already. I mean, they have a massive immortal, so saying like, why not? Good save from Oriel, and here comes the kill attempt. Blaze comes in with the combustion, gets quite some value out of that. Down go Artanis and Li Ming. The core is open, and they go immediately for the attack here, and it seems like the Bacon Landlords are just pulling this off. This is a victory. They have 13, and they take the 2-1 win over the red team. Nicely done, nice comeback, GG, well played.